Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Comm Tower. This is Hachi. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Comm Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Comm Tower, Comm Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. Say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. All right. What's going on, everybody? Thursday is upon us. Baby Friday in the house. Happy Thanksgiving. I know some of you right now are getting all fat and nasty, having all your fat pills, that's associated with friggin' Thanksgiving. Maybe some of y'all who are still on active duty will have weigh-in next week. Get some. I know you'll be trying to sweat out all kinds of bag nasties and shit that you had over Thanksgiving weekend, plus the leftovers. We have a great show today, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get started, I gotta do the do. And this show is brought to you by Castle Global Services. At Castle Global Services, they have an arrangement of many, many products, from residential services, Wi-Fi, mobile, internet, security systems, to residential, from merchant services, processing credit cards, security systems. And if you're an employer and you would like to afford the opportunity for your employees to have very, very affordable medical care, plus you get a tax benefit as well by doing this, they also have impact. So go to castleglobalservices.acnibeo.com and check them out and give them a call. Plus, they also do financial analysis as well. So if you want to protect your assets and grow your monies, give them a call. They'll take care of you. And this show is also brought to you by the Great American Constitution. So this show is all about, First Amendment, Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, freedom of speech, all that good stuff. So if you like what I'm spewing, stick around, like, subscribe, follow. Don't forget to tell everybody else about it. Help me grow this show and get maybe to somewhat near Joe Rogan level. If you don't like what you hear, then hey, that's okay too. Go ahead and swipe left. Maybe try something out from sitchradio.com. They have an array of many, many different shows over there, like Combat Bed Vision with my great friend, Aaron Chief Sievert. Or I podcast that by Mr. Brian Colburn himself, fellow jarhead and the director of this show and owner of sitchradio.com as well. So check them all out. All right. We got all the mumbo jumbo and all the promotion stuff and sponsors things out of the way. Hey, we have a really good. I've been trying to get this dude onto the show for quite a while, and it just so my man is really, really busy, and it just so that the stars aligned, and basically we were able to track this man down, Mr. Cesar Sterling. He's my first roommate when I got to the fleet. So let's bring him on to the show, Mr. Cesar Sterling himself. Yut.
Thank you. Thank you for
What's
having me.
Pasa? What's going on, motor skater?
Oh, same thing, different day, man. Finally getting some vacation so I can attend your show.
Dude, I've been trying to get you. It's like, man, when can I get this dude in here? But I know that, you're super busy. I mean, you're a very successful business person for quite some time. And that's awesome, man. It's great to see another fellow jarhead, making shit happen out in the community,
I mean, we try. I mean, we stay pretty busy. I think the last vacation I took was November of last year. So this time I'm broadcasting from Texas, even
Nice.
though I'm in San Diego, California. As we're just visiting some family over here.
Hey, sometimes, you just got to do that. Get in the car and do like well, I don't know if maybe some of this crowd, and maybe I'm dating myself, but like the Griswolds, remember the National Lampoon with Chevy Chase? And just get on that car.
I just got on the car, drove, got to Vegas. Then got in the car again, drove, got to Grand Canyon. And then, as a veteran, I don't know if you know, but all national parks are free.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, that's the Grand Canyon, get a lifetime membership, free lifetime membership. And we headed down to Texas and probably complete the loop on Friday.
And make sure well, I don't know how far off you are from San Antonio, but make sure you hit the Alamo. Super beautiful there in the Riverwalk and all that stuff.
I'm probably 2 hours from it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you can squeeze it in, but hey, before we get started, because there's so much. I don't even know where to go on with this show because
Just start at the beginning.
we have so much history. But go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are. Where you came from, and just a little bit about your Marine Corps career before we get to the
All
even
right.
better shit.
So let's try to keep it simple. My name is Cesar Sterling. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I enlisted the Marine Corps through RSS Fort Lauderdale, who does recruiting directly from Puerto Rico. The question that I always get from that is, which freeway did you come through? It's an island. You need to fly in. And yes, we are citizens, so we're not promised a statehood to join the military if we join the military. So I did this out of my own free will. From that standpoint, I came in guaranteed uniform Fox, which was designated for motor transfer mechanic, because I had my own race car and I wanted to fix cars mainly, and ended up getting stationed. Went to Paris Island, 3rd Battalion.
Yet.
Yep. And went to MCT in Camp Lejeune, went to Geiger for school.
Tiger.
Went to Johnson then for the 3521 piece, and then got stationed in 9th Crime. You remember those days. So 9th Comm Battalion, 1st Strig.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was when it was first Strig, first SRIG.
First Surveillance, Reconnaissance, and Intelligence Group.
Yep, that's right.
And it was me and 2 other West Virginia guys that ended up in Whitlock too. Remember Whitlock?
Yeah, Whitlock, yeah.
Me, Sinet, Tanner, and Whitlock were from boot camp all the way through NightCom. Got stationed there. I was the hazmat. I did the hazmat, the safety, the embarkation, the oil analysis program.
JOAP, yeah.
JOAP, that battery room. Then went to CWSS, then went to MCIWS.
I remember that.
And shit hit the fan at that point. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody needed a room. And, not that it was a racial thing, but we had this guy whose last name wouldn't fit on his name tag. So it was like, can you just pick one? I mean, I have 2 last names too. But it was like this Correa Hernandez that wouldn't fit in his name tag. And he was probably a Lance Corporal at that point, right?
No, I was guaranteed PFC off boot camp. And I showed up over there and I pinned on a couple of months after I checked in. Fun fact, you and me, we had wait, was Serrano your drill instructor too? Yeah, you and me had the same drill instructor, and Serrano ended up being our shot chief too when we were in the fucking fleet. How weird is that?
Small world.
I still talk to him every once in a while. I'll shoot him a text.
Where is he?
Yeah, he's in Well, remember that his hometown was Massachusetts.
Okay.
And he does ROTC. He's been an ROTC instructor for many years.
Crazy. I went to David's retirement.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, in Boston, actually, last year. We were the unit that he was in charge of. He retired him in 23 years. So Chief Warrant Officer 3 too.
Yeah. No,
So
so
we have some ground to cover. So everybody stays engaged. I mean, basically, so this guy hits the fleet, and we've already been in it, and he could tell you from there what he wants to say, what his experience was like. I mean, we were young at that time. I think I was probably 19 or 20. It's been
yeah, because I know you came in 92, right?
I came in 93,
93. So
February of 93. I was
okay,
February
I came in.
93.
Yeah, you had months on me. Yeah, I remember that. So you were senior to me, but because I came from Colombia, and our school years from January to like December, I had to repeat the fifth grade because I came in kind of like already in between, so I
Mhm.
couldn't. So long story short, yeah, you were senior to me in the fleet, and you were already a lance corporal. So yeah, I remember that was a freaking culture shock, to say the least. But you're right. I mean, I think we had a great. Some of my best memories, and man, it was that fucking unit, dude. We had a lot of characters. I mean,
We had a mentality that was unique. I mean, we were first rig. I mean, that's the
which doesn't
first.
exist anymore.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, who has recon now?
Recon is a battalion now. It's
Oh
Recon
wow.
Battalion. Yeah, it's in Margarita, as a matter of fact. I was
Okay.
there when they separated. I came back in. I was a retread, and
Mhm.
they just separated because the mechanics went to that battalion. So,
Oh
but
wow.
that's another story.
Well, that's a sad story, but we used to have the three radio companies, service company and supply, and we were responsible for all the communications, so all the support for the communications for anything that happened west of the Mississippi. So that said, our readiness had to be on point. I mean, and it was always a matter of running the shop. But then the Marine Corps had a bright idea, as sometimes they did, that they made all the 29s and 20. Remember when they condensed all the MOSs and then we were
Right.
frozen in time? So literally, our promotions were frozen for over 2 years.
Yeah,
And
because they got rid of the wrecker operators,
mhm, the
the
20 the alternator mechs, the
yeah
alternator people, the
the higher
color,
echelon mech, the fourth echelon mechs, which were 24s,
right?
FNE, fuel and FNE, fuel and electronics. I think was it electric or fuel and electrical. I think was what the
Yeah.
MOS FNE. Yeah, but I remember, so great unit, and so I think that time frame we lived the work hard, play hard theory. I think in that time frame, because I mean I remember guys like what was the name, Sergeant Snook. I mean the dude looked like he was 60 years old. I mean, but the dude was a sergeant. I'd say he was probably late 20s. I would say, but we had guys like that. Top
Remember,
Cervantes from
remember Gurney
upstairs.
Cook?
Gunny Cook. He was my first sergeant when I came back in.
Oh
That
wow.
dude, yeah. Oh man, you know. So you know how intense that dude was because he was like one of the old retreads, like leftovers from Vietnam.
I remember
Remember that one
when
combat soccer game where he
the
was choking Corporal Garcia? He was like, "Ah, you fucking gook, die!" And he was just, and we're like, "Gunny, we're peeling this dude." And Garcia was just sitting there, like, "Whoa, what the fuck just happened?"
remember we were out in the field and he woke up in the middle of the night having an episode?
Oh no, no, I was, or maybe I didn't hear it. I don't know
That
what
was
happened.
pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I mean, we thought we were about to get shot, but good times.
No, that dude ended up being my first sergeant, and remember he was pretty intense with the fat bodies and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, dude, he had like the guys from weight control. He had them running up Margarita Hill, carrying barrels and all kinds. And I think one of them got hurt, and luckily it was around that time. He was already. He started to. They basically moved him out of out of as first sergeant, and he ended up retiring shortly after that. That was like that whole time when.
Well, that's a
Uh,
sad ending. I mean,
I mean, he did retire, and it was H&S headquarters of service company, truck company battalion.
wow.
Or it was a truck battalion or truck company. Anyways, but he ended up, retiring. I mean, they did nothing wrong, but
Yeah,
man.
So it happened. So it happened.
Yeah.
So
But I remember, you guys were pretty hardcore when it came to, especially around field day. That was like one of my vivid memories. I think this is where I learned from you. Hey, you clean better when you're drunk.
if you ain't drunk, you ain't cleaning good enough.
Yeah, I remember, and we used to get pretty lit, clean the room, and then we would go head out to the club, Del Mar Club. Remember that shit?
13 area. 13
Yeah,
area until we closed it down.
yeah, yeah. Remember they used to bus chicks from the main. It was one of the best. It was rated one of San Diego's best clubs. That the Del Mar area, those clubs, and there would be a white bus and chicks would line up and hey, can you I'll buy you a couple of beers if you sign me in. And we're like, okay, yeah, whatever. You could end up hooking up or meeting somebody or whatever.
We had a good time. we had a really good time. But do you want to talk about, what do you remember?
I remember, so on one of those field day nights, I know that
was your first.
Huh?
That was like your first field day night.
Yeah, that was like that was my first, and that was a like, oh shit, I want to go back to boot camp. Yeah, literally. So I remember, everybody was drinking. I was still I was very green still, but I was still like, I remember I used to call you Lance Corporal Sterling and Lance Corporal who shall remain nameless.
Who shall remain nameless unless we get his written authorization.
Yeah. Who shall remain nameless, out of respect, as you requested. And
maybe watching this show probably.
I remember that. Hey, everybody have to what?
If you are watching the show and you know it's you, give me a call.
Yeah. So I remember that. Hey, you guys were having drinks, and I went to bed. I was like, whatever. But I remember bottles were being flung because my rack was closest to the wall.
All right. So let me enlighten. For this part of the story, Lance Corporal Correa Hernandez, aka Alphabet,
yep,
was having his first drinking experience in the field. So, in virtue of the name of the show, we're going to tell his first field day story. And back in those days, you go to the country store at 13 area and buy an 18 pack of Bud Light for, I don't know, it was like $12.99 if I remember correctly. So me and him who shall remain nameless, obviously on a field day night, make our pit stop. Each of us grab an 18 pack of bottled beer because we wouldn't drink out of a can. And we bring that back to our room. After we we're cleaning the room, we've been drinking, but it gets to a point when you're probably, all the racks are made and you're sleeping on racks that are already been made because you don't want to mess anything up.
Right.
And you already pledged the walls of the bathrooms so you can't get any soap scum out of it. And I'm just trying to jot some memories here and use that scrub and bubble stuff on the shower.
Yeah.
We used to steam it for 15 minutes.
Oh my God. No, hazmat all up the ass. Because I mean, you're inhaling all kinds of mist and ammonia and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, give it to the hazmat NCO.
And that's what I do for a fucking living now.
That's what I do for a living. I mean, did we win or did we not?
Yeah.
We always won.
Yeah, so, I don't think we ever had to refill day. No, we didn't.
Never ever had to refill day. We had this down to a science, but we have one more body in our room and we're not sure where he fits in. So it was kind of weird. And pretty soon we realized that for some silly reason, this guy was just listening to us. And it was hilarious because we were the same rank. And
I mean, well, I was a PFC, but you guys were Lance Corporals, and I was like, it's like the whole officer one bar rule. You know what I mean?
We never had any power over anybody.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we get this little paddle on, and it was kind of fun. I mean, I have to admit, it was hilarious because we cleaned the whole room. and then it all went sideways. I mean, he goes to sleep in the rack like, oh, I gotta get up early. Like it was like
yeah.
it was like 8:59, and he's trying to go to bed, and we're like, we're gonna go get another 12 pack. And so he goes to sleep, and we figured it would be a good idea to, as soon as we drank a bottle, smash it against the wall. And we smashed it first. And he goes like, hey, don't do that again. And there goes the next bottle. And it's all of a sudden, it just becomes this contest of, you're going to tell me what? Wait a second. Can we do this any faster? So we start chugging beer and just throwing bottles at the wall. And there's glass everywhere. There's
it was horrible.
some beer everywhere. And of course, after you've had an 18 pack and a 12 pack, I mean, at some point, somebody's got to give up. Well, it was interesting because him who shall remain nameless disappears. It's like, oh man, this guy, I don't know where this guy went. So I kept drinking, drank a few more, smashed a few more, picked up the glass, and figured go to sleep. Then
let me pick up from here.
I'm going to let him pick up because there's no way we're going to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So around 5:30 in the morning, we hear this boot getting up when we got a good 2 hours of sleep, and you can take it from there.
Well, so I get up and I couldn't open the door to the bathroom. I'm sorry. We're going to be proper and let's use proper naval terminology. I opened the hatch to the head and I hit something. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the light's still on. I open the door and I hit it a little harder. And all I see is Sinet.
Oh,
He's bent over. He's on the toilet, on the crapper, on the commode. He's bent over, passed out. And I'm like, Lance Corporal Sinet. Lance Corporal. Lance Corporal who shall remain nameless. Lance Corporal. I was like, hey, Lance Corporal. And he gets up, huh? And he's covered in shit from head to toe. And then I look at the bathroom, and you could tell where he probably tried to get up, where there were scratch marks of shit on the walls. And then I could tell that he probably rubbed his eyebrows because he had it on his eyebrows. And then I was just so shocked. I went up to you. I'm like, Lance Corporal Sterling, so-and-so, he's covered in shit. Like, what? No, I can't believe that. Get up, move, bitch. And you just went over there like, yo, hey, man, what the fuck, dog? We clean this fucking room and blah, blah. You need to clean this shit up right now. I mean, I remember, you were chewing his ass out. And you were in there for a little bit. Like, I think you got close. And I remember because you used to sleep with your socks. You used to do that a lot. Yep. You went back to bed. And then, so homie starts cleaning the bathroom. And you go back to bed and you get up. And then where your feet are, you swish your feet on the sheets. And you had shit streaks all over your fucking rack. And then the bathroom is still not clean. And by this time, it's almost, I think, like 06:30 or 07. Luna, or Master Gunny Luna now, he's inspecting rooms. And it was with the white dude, Sergeant.
Chupas.
Huh?
Chupas.
No, it wasn't Chupas. It
Gilmore?
was Gilmore. Yeah, it was Gilmore. And so Luna gets to our door. He's like, hey, what the fuck you putos you still doing here? You should be. And we're like, and I was like, Sergeant, blah, blah, blah. And I tell him, he's like, what? And you're like, yeah, dude. Because you and him were more, obviously, but you're like, yeah, dog. Yeah, you were like, yeah, dog. He's like, he tells me, get your ass to fucking motor pool. Blah, blah. And he's like, I'll tell Sergeant Gilmore not to go to skip this room. And I don't know how we didn't get in trouble, but bro, that was my introduction to fucking police.
It was a different time back then. We had each other's back, and it wasn't the only one. I mean, remember when that guy almost got sacrificed?
I know. It was always this, you know.
We had a bad rep. I mean, we had a bad rep, but it was a work hard, play hard crowd.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
we can say that we did have a very colorful crew in the sense that we had a guy who was a Satanist,
yes.
you know, and yeah, and one of our many drinking game or binges, whatever
Nights.
the fuck you want to
It was a
call it,
field day night
escapades.
too. It was a
Yeah,
field day night.
he tried to fucking sacrifice
His
our
roommate.
fucking roommate.
Did he eventually get kicked out?
Yeah, he
He
got
got kicked out for that. So
yeah,
he was
he got.
trying to prove
It took a while
insanity,
though.
and we were convinced after he pulled that dagger on
Oh
Lloyd.
yeah,
Was it Lloyd? Yeah, it was Lloyd.
no, it was Kaiser, Corporal Kaiser.
No, I know, but it was Lloyd that he tried to sacrifice.
Oh yeah, it was Lloyd who tried to.
I mean,
I
you wanna
remember
talk about
that.
some crazy stuff. This guy literally duct taped another guy to his bed and had him ready to sacrifice.
Yeah, I remember, but I think those barracks were the best. We had an actual fucking fight room up in the third deck
Yes.
that we used to call him. His name was, we called him Scott, but his last it was the sergeant from Comm Bn maintenance or some shit. I have a photo of us. As a matter of fact, I should have put it on here, but
Talking about Carson.
yeah. But we remember the fight room where, hey, if you had any issues, we used to go fucking settle it upstairs. The good old days.
It was a good time back then. I mean, and I still gotta say, for the people that are listening to this, they're going like, these guys were nuts. I mean, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to my life. I have to say that because literally it changed my life forever. I mean, I say for the better. I mean, I joined out of Puerto Rico, and the environment wasn't. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. That's why I've always worked hard for everything I've had, and literally, thank God. I mean, I'm blessed now. I've gone through a lot. I hated school before I joined the Marine Corps. I got my bachelor's, got my master's. I mean, have my own business for 13, 14 years. I can come and go as I please, and literally, unfortunately, there's a price that I'm paying for some of the things, which is probably the other thing you want to talk about. I don't know.
Well, I mean, anyway, I know. First of all, let's hit up that you've been a very successful business person. I mean, you own several farmers insurance agencies.
At this point, I only have one. I just have different producers that contribute to it. But we've been doing it for about 13 years. And one thing that I saw 13 years ago is actually coming to fruition right now is the reason why I'm a farmer's agent is because I could literally give this to my son someday. And today, due to unforeseen circumstances, he is the one running the show. So I get to go on vacation and he gets to stay back. The only sucky part about that is that he can't come with me, but we got to figure that one out. We'll figure that one out eventually to where we can both go.
But I know you hit some bumps on the road as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the issues and as good as thank God that there is a system that takes care of vets. It's not perfect. It has I mean, we do feel the friction, but I know you've had some issues as well. Can you expand on that a little bit for us? I mean, we got about a good 5 minutes.
Let's start with saying I'm 90% disabled.
Okay.
What that looks like is I had some injuries to my arms. I had some injuries to my legs. Remember when I was in crutches?
Right.
I had some injuries to my legs in MCIWS class, and I've been pretty much drowned on MCIWS class, and that's pretty bad. As a result of a lifetime of high blood pressure, we're now finding out post-COVID that I have a very rare heart disease. And this is like, if one person in 500,000 have it, I am 15% of that one. So I've not the lottery I've been playing. I've been praying to win, but the lottery that I got. What that looks like to people is there's a lot of pain involved. There's a lot of shortness of breath. I can't walk 30 steps without huffing and puffing. When it's funny because somebody posted the other day our fun run, Halloween fun run, where everybody is in a toga,
Oh shit!
right?
And
And
you ran that thing with your fucking gas mask on the whole time. Oh my god! I forgot about.
right,
I was a Power Ranger. I remember that shit.
right. So funny enough, I can't go up a flight of stairs now without huffing and puffing. So what this looks like is pretty much a heart transplant was what you see it. The VA entertained it, to try to sum it up, because I know you're short on time. Entertained it for about a year, fought me all the way. But at one point, you have to have the the determination, I guess,
Uh-huh.
to not give up. They don't, I mean, sometimes it feels like they don't care. I just look at it now as they live in a different world. I have a little one. I have two older kids. I have a little one now, and I need to be there for him. So I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and the end result is I'm having surgery next month. Heart surgery, open heart surgery at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, where the VA is picking up the tab for our travel, the whole family, paying for the stay, paying for the surgery. It actually required, for people that know, the signature of the National Community Care Coordinator and the head of the VA in La Jolla. So yeah, so I'm happy about that. That's probably $500,000 tab right there. And even though I'm off and well, I mean, there's no insurance plan for that.
Right.
So I'm glad that they finally stepped up and did the right thing. But it's been a battle that I want to give people a little bit of hope that if you keep fighting and you keep arguing and if you don't know how to make the argument, like I've talked to Frank about it, I've talked to David about it, Chief Warrant Officer Rosario. I've talked to. It's funny because I still have all these friends that are going. We were served around the same time. I mean, how many years has it been, Pacho?
Fuck, man, dude. I was doing the
20 years.
tab the other day. It's over 25 fucking
Yeah.
years ago, dude.
I mean,
God.
I went to your retirement. I went to David's retirement. I went to Jose Miguel's police academy graduation. I mean, and that's the thing where we will serve together and we kind of stay in touch. And I think we need to do a better job of staying in touch. There's a lot of things that I could say more than the one show can bear. I mean, there's a lot of things that right now where I'm looking at all this whole situation, being an insurance agent, I I know my family is protected, and it's stuff that we probably never been exposed to, and we need to have that talk, and people don't want to have that talk, but we need to have that talk. I mean, and if something happens, hey, it's written, so that's how I'm looking at things right now.
Yeah.
I mean, but
No. I mean, you bring up a couple of good points, and maybe this would be because I've had Evelyn Quinoa as well here on the show. She does asset protection, financials, preparing, and as well. I think it'll be a really good show having your both of your thoughts here. For another show where basically, and I've been marinating on this. Hey, you know what? Because before we were spoiled. Hey, S1 person, Perso takes care of our wills, power of attorney, this, that, and look, whatever, what comes next. So,
sometimes people wonder. I mean, I do insurance not because I have to, but because I like to.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, I take the responsibility of protecting a family very seriously, just as I would. I mean, Pacho knows if he needed my help, I'd get on a plane, period. There's no questions asked, and whatever we got to do is going to get done. So, that said, that's been the driving motor of my business, and it's good to be able to help people along the way, to be able to have things go the way you planned them. I mean, with COVID, we've lost a lot of customers. I mean, yesterday we lost husband and wife 1 month
Yeah.
apart. I mean, it's like, whoa. I mean, luckily sons are well off, and there was a plan in place, and things move on. I mean, there's no this thing has been like no rhyme or no reason to it, just picking people at random, and it's going to continue. I mean,
Yeah.
you should take the opportunity. It's like you're an extra rounds, you're an extra innings right now. I mean, it's like a wake up call. Yes, we need to have those conversations. We need to find out what a trust is. You need to
Yeah.
find out how to protect your family. You got to find out what works best for you. Not because we're trying to sell something, just so you know, I can't sell outside California.
Yeah.
So,
No. And
but I hold every license there is. So,
well, why don't we do this? Where can people, for those listeners who are in California and they want to, take care of it, where can they go and find you?
they
Now,
can
so you
find
got your
me
15 seconds of fame right now.
if you Google Cesar Sterling, it'll come right up. If you are a Spanish speaker and you type "Mi agente de farmers," I'll come up. And if you want a catchphrase to remember, I want to say, "Are you insured now?" If you spell that out, you'll come up to my website directly,
Okay.
and you can reach there. You can make an appointment. I mean, I gotta say, I'm gonna be a little bit down, but I will do my best to try to get back to you and take care of you as if you were family, and give you the no bullshit. This is what it is. I mean, that's what you get from me. You see what you get, and when you have a claim, you call me. So, I mean, I'm on vacation in Texas. I had a wreck to handle this morning, and it's like, okay, I'm here. That's what I do. My wife
Well,
hates
bro,
it, but that's what I do.
well, we appreciate you, and we'll definitely are going to bring you back, talk a little bit more fueled up and more bullshit from back in the day. But hey, man, thanks for your service.
No, thanks for
We'll
yours, man.
definitely we'll definitely keep tabs on you in regards to your health and how the whole process, because I think it's important for people to know about that stuff in the VA system, man. But thanks, brother, appreciate it, and happy fucking Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you too. And take
Thanks,
care.
man. Love you, brother. Take
All
care.
right. Bye.
Well, everybody, hey, that's it for today. Happy Thanksgiving one more time. I hope you're celebrating and being with your loved ones, and give thanks. Sometimes, especially those of us who have PTSD and such, we by nature of what the affliction, and not letting it define me, we tend to focus and ruminate on the negative stuff, and that usually puts us down on a really negative path, and to basically go down that deep hole that we just sometimes some of us don't come out. And if that's your case, reach out to a friend, reach out to our show, reach out to me, but just reach out. Let me at least be that last text message or last phone call, because everything does have a fucking solution, and everything, I'm telling you, it is temporary. So, but with that being said, hey, it was a great show, great having my buddy Cesar in the house. So, hey, I just want to say, Aishtimas, Daisuki, and thanks everybody. I'll see you next week. All right, get some. Yut.